Ready, set, hunt.
Good morning, everybody. Happy 8 days until the Super Bowl. Get excited. Welcome to the Weekend Zone. It's your girl, Britt. You guys can follow me on all social media at I am Britt Johnson.
Who that nation? We are not excited about that. But anyway, I'm Jackie Ray. You can follow me on all things social media at JRay.
I feel your pain. I feel your pain, Jackie. Don't worry. I've felt your pain since 1996. So
right.
So maybe one guy is trying to get to a Super Bowl himself, and that is Matt Stafford. He reportedly requested a trade, and nothing says I want out of here more than listing your mansion for $6.5 million. So he has this almost 8,000 square foot mansion. Look at this. Can I move in?
Right.
5 bedrooms, 5 baths, 2 additional little powder rooms. It has a half basketball court, got that Pistons logo on there. And it's actually original floor from the Detroit Pistons Silver Dome. So that is an original NBA players have played on that basketball court, which I think is so dope. House is really dope, but I mean, nothing says I want to leave, and we talk about it all the time, that real estate means I'm out of here for sure. Jackie,
right.
What do you think? Where do you think this guy is going to get traded to? Do you think he will actually end up staying on the Lions for another season? What do you think is going to happen here?
I actually think Matthew Stafford has been my saving grace as far as consistency and in backup quarterbacks in my fantasy football leagues. So I actually love the guy. I want him to be happy. I think Detroit goes out of their way to try to keep him because I do think he's a staple of that franchise. He just needs a few more weapons. They need to kind of implement some new systems, stop doing the same old thing that I can basically read your plays now and know what you're going to call. Maybe throw some new ones in there. But I think that he ends up staying. I understand why he wants to leave. It's one of those things where he's at the point in his career now where he's like, I'm never going to win anything if I stay here. It's time for me to go. But I think,
right.
He could ultimately, win something. There's so many teams right now that could utilize him. I know we were talking about Deshaun Watson going to the Jets. If that doesn't happen, maybe they could take him over there. But I don't know where he ends up if he doesn't stay in Detroit. I do think Detroit is going to try to move mountains to keep him. So it's going to be interesting to see how this one plays out.
Right. I think anywhere that he potentially could go would be as like, okay, I'm this seasoned quarterback and it's with a team that is actually probably draft due young quarterback. And then they would just use Matthew the first couple years to kind of like coach up the other guy. But then you're still in a situation where you ain't going to no Super Bowl with no team that literally is good enough to, or bad enough, should I say, to get a top quarterback in a draft, because that means that team is terrible. So,
unless he's content being a backup, and I know he's not going to do that. So if he wants to get a Super Bowl as a backup somewhere, there's some teams he could do that on, but I know he doesn't want to do that. So
go play with the devil.
Oh, here we go.
Okay, I'm gonna move on. Okay, this next one is actually interesting. We'll talk a little bit more about it later in the show, but apparently legendary coach and iconic commentator guy John Madden actually says that he thinks that some of the Madden players should get on the staff with the NFL team. So he said this: I would have a couple of young guys that are good Madden players and hire them and put them on my staff. And each week I would have them play our opponent. If the Raiders are playing the Kansas City Chiefs, I'd have one of them be the Raiders and one of them be the Kansas City Chiefs. And then I would run our players against their defense and their defenses against our defenses. And I'd have them just check that out and then do a write-up. This was good. This was bad. Had trouble here, had trouble there. I don't know how much I would use it, but I think if I was still a coach, I would do that. So that is his idea. What do you think? Should NFL start doing this? Like, should they hire some Madden players, have them play and kind of see? Because we talk about the Madden ratings all the time. A lot of times it's not as accurate as we would think. But what are your thoughts on this, Jackie?
I'm going to take no for 5,000, Alex, because I just don't even understand how, you know what I mean? Like this is, and I get it, but I've only played Madden twice in my life, and there's levels. They put it on the easy level for me so I could, you know, actually figure out my way through the game. But there's the human aspect that's going to happen on the field that's just not going to happen in that game. The unpredictables. You can kind of figure out. Again, I'm a novice at Madden, so please, if y'all are gamers, don't come for me because I'm admitting right now that I'm not a gamer like that. But it just seems like that's not, especially if they don't have on the field experience, so they don't know that aspect of the game, and you've only played Madden your entire life. Like, I get that it's fun, but it's not the same. And you, like you just said, the ratings, we talk about the ratings every single year, how they're trash and how did you put this guy this low? And if you're putting people that we think are dope low, I'm guessing you don't really know the nuances of the on the field. You're just basing how they play in the game, and it's totally different. So I'm going to say, right. Like, this is my favorite. So I'm going to guess that this is a great way to get more hype around Madden, but it's a no for me.
Yeah. I mean, I get it, John Madden, why you would think this is a good idea. But yeah, I definitely want to know what you guys in the, well, you're not in the comments today, but you're going to be in the comments. You guys watching would think about this, because I'm sure a lot of you guys have had way more experience in Madden than we have. What do you guys think about it? Let us know in the comments. But that is it for honorable mentions. What you got for us for Athlete Trash Talk?
I'm excited about this first Athlete Trash Talk, you guys, because, you know, Britt did a take on this earlier in the week on the Fumble Live. I was disappointed that the Fumble was literally one of the first organizations to talk about it. We're talking about, of course, Chad Wheeler. You guys know the story. He ended up really, go to Twitter and see the pictures of his girlfriend before and after. Stunning and beautiful before, and just looks like she's been through hell after. Not a lot of coverage on this until athletes really started talking about it, and that's dope. And of course, one of our Fumble favorites, he had something to say about it. Dez Bryant actually was one of the first ones who kind of said anything about it. And he said, Chad Wheeler, if I ever run across you, we're going toe to toe, because I wouldn't mind making the news, breaking something across your effing head, and then ask you, are you still alive? I know one thing, the media don't mind destroying the black athletes without the facts. And that is something we also talked about, and that's facts. Like, we've seen so many black athletes be acquitted and somebody just lied on them, but the media was like, oh no, guilty by association or something like that. So yeah. And then he also said in another tweet, he said he tried to make her bow to him, which was another aspect of this story that is still mind-boggling to me. We know that he left her unconscious in the bed beside him and then woke up and said, oh, you're still alive. This is not a manic attack. Go to the Fumble's Instagram. I posted on there his apology where he said, I had a manic attack. I'm getting help. I am not here for it. I am here for the Dez Bryant energy. That's exactly the response this man should be getting. I know you love Dez. What did you think about this response?
I loved this because part of my Brit's take, it was funny because a lot of we ended up pulling that out and putting it as a separate thing on the Fumble, if you guys have watched it. But it wasn't, I mean, I didn't think anybody was going to watch it because obviously it wasn't even news. Like, nobody cared. And again, we were one of the first people to talk about it. And I got all the Facebook moms on there, and they were like, why is she just so casual talking? I was like, because it's a live show. I wasn't doing it as like reporting stand-up. They were like, I have to go to CNN to watch this because this girl is just fought. And I'm like, they don't know the show. Everybody that watches the Fumble knows that it was a part of the live show. But in that, I literally, the whole point was the players making each other accountable for stuff. And I talked about Zach Banner and how he used to be his former teammate in college, and now he kind of said something about it. And that was literally what started the whole thing, because that's how I saw it. Somebody that I knew had liked it or whatever, and it came up on my Twitter feed, and I was like, what is he talking about? So then I looked into it, and that's how I found the story in the first place, which had happened days before, yet nobody was covering it yet. But then Zach posts that, I cover it literally right after our show. It was everywhere. And Dez was one of the first ones I had seen. So having these athletes kind of help bring it to light was dope, because usually they try to cover up for each other. And that was the point I was making. But I was like, y'all need to step up and call this dude out for that. And especially, like, we didn't find out till after the show that, you know, she was a Black woman, he's a white guy. And we had already talked about on the show, we thought it was covered up because he was a white player. But then on top of that, his girlfriend was Black. And then he's saying this bow down to me, like some slave master stuff. The whole thing was like crazy. And obviously at the moment we didn't know a lot of information about it, but then like to see it just being opened up more and more as like the day continued, I really applaud these athletes for, you know, stepping up and making this news, because it was not news before they started talking about it.
Yeah, I'm really glad they did too. And this guy was a backup. You know, he only made like $190,000 a year on a 1-year contract with the Seahawks. So he's going away. We're not going to see him in the NFL again, but I hope we do see him behind bars, because this was ridiculous. But let's move on to this unrealistic, you got to be kidding yourself trash talk, because I'm not buying one single ounce of this next one. But during an appearance on the Dan Patrick show earlier in the week, Scotty Miller, you guys know Scotty Miller, he plays on what Britt calls the Devil's team with Tom Brady. He plays with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And listen to what he had to say. First and foremost, y'all know who Tyreek Hill is. Don't sleep on Tyreek Hill. And now listen to what he has to say about who would win a race between the two of them.
How would you do if you and Tyreek Hill lined up?
Oh, I'm taking me every day of the week. I'll take me over anybody. Tyreek is unbelievable.
Exactly. Now, when I think of Scotty Miller, I don't think run 20 miles an hour and can catch Tyreek. That's not what I don't know what you think, Britt. That's not what crosses my mind. Like,
not at all.
It doesn't.
Maybe he had to shoot that like we shoot this show early in the morning, and sometimes you get a little confused. Maybe he was still dreaming. I don't know, but definitely not.
Or maybe he's doing like my dad used to tell me when I was running for student council, like, gotta vote for yourself, because if you don't vote for yourself, nobody else will. So maybe he's just giving himself his vote. But that's cute. But we all know better. That's right. One vote. But that's it for athlete trash talk.
What are we doing today, Jackie?
Okay, I think based on what you just said, because you're right, a lot of these, I think a few of these came from the one we pulled out of the live. So for you guys, we're just going to give you some snaps, because you don't even come to the show often enough to know what's really going on.
Facebook moms.
So, okay. Yeah, so let's run through all of these. I think 1 or 2 of them are from the Facebook moms. But we love y'all, moms. So this one is from, see now this, first of all, if you're related to an athlete, it's our business, period. Welcome to the Fumble. Y'all don't know this channel, but this one says, this dead, not none of y'all business. Y'all are a sports news, not a drama channel. Stay in your lane. This is our lane. We like the drama. Have you not met Devin Howard? Lives for the drama. This is what we do.
Yeah,
wrong, son.
That's the lane. I know, it was so funny because Devin usually does the 2 stories in the morning, and then I do the later stories that come in the afternoon. Mm-hmm. And I got a story that was like one of those kind of stories the other day, and I was like, this is a Devin story. Right. I don't know nothing about this relationship stuff, because I had to talk about Tristan Thompson's what's actually not Tristan Thompson, Carl Anthony Townsend's, but Jordan Woods. And I was like, I don't know nothing about this girl.
Nothing. I didn't know until she did that challenge that they've been together for a year. I'm like, oh, okay, that's cool. And it's because I watched the Fumble. If I don't watch the Fumble, I wouldn't know that.
Shoot. I didn't know not a darn thing. All right, what's this next one? Interesting content. Oh, this is me. That is a Facebook mom all day. Interesting content. But please try to monitor your use of ums and uhs. Thank you, Mom. It's hard to stay listening to your message. Again, I don't do uhs and ums in my reporting stuff, but I was talking for the video came out to be 12 minutes straight. So there's going to be a couple. And again, we were just getting the news. I literally was still checking stuff up, trying to get an update as the show was happening. So, but thank you, Mom. I appreciate that. I will work harder next time when I do my live shows and I'm talking for 15 minutes straight to not say a couple uhs and ums. I will try.
I love her picture though, because she does look like a mom in her little picture show. Shouts out to the Facebook. We love you. We love you.
Yeah, they came through on that video.
They did. They did. All right, let's get to this next one. All right. Oh, I know. See, this is from the same video, and I was like, this is too much. Black ladies, we should date outside our race to increase our chances of finding the best man for us. Sweetheart, did you watch the video? This is a black woman that got beat up by a white guy. So your logic is putting that on this video. Moronic. Sorry.
I think this person was being sarcastic. I think it was saying like black ladies, and then this is what black ladies say, and then
black ladies say this. I just don't, and I'm a black lady.
No, I think we see like the Travis Kelce situation, and people are like, oh, give me a little fine little white boy, And statistically speaking, the best least divorce rate is with black women and white men. And then they also financially make the most money because black women are leading this country as CEOs and all this other stuff. And white men typically make the most out of any race. I actually just did a video on somebody else's thing on relationships, and it was a guy, and he was talking about, he was a black guy who was like, black women are leaving us for white guys because they have more successful relationships with white guys, is what he said. But this ain't a dating show, so we're not gonna talk about this. But
if it was, and you're black, you're single, and in LA, holla at your girl. All right, let's get to this next one.
Wait a minute. Y'all were killing James Harden when he said he wanted to leave Houston. Now y'all killing Bradley Beal because he says he wants to stay in Washington. Nobody can win with y'all shaking my damn head for real. Who said? Wait, I know it wasn't. Wait, hold on. I don't think we were killing Bradley Beal. We just said y'all, you chose to stay, so deal with it.
Back it up. Yeah, and we didn't even kill James Harden. I think way before James Harden started pouting and acting completely unprofessional, we all said maybe it's time for him to go. This thing in Houston just isn't working for whatever reason. It was the way he handled it. We killed him for the way he handled it and the lack of professionalism. But at the end of the day, everyone on the Fumble says, hey, do what's best for you, because the team's not going to be loyal to you at the end of the day. So don't be loyal to them. But so I guess what we're learning here is y'all need to watch more of the show, because you're just going off of one little tidbit or something, and it ain't the whole story.
Sounds like a title reader.
All right, one more. Britt, you look and sound so exhausted.
I probably was, boo. Especially if we were talking about that Donovan Mitchell and Shaq stuff. Mama is tired, okay? Yeah, I'm sick of it. Yes, I probably was.
Yeah, we get tired. We be out here working hard for y'all. So let us have, we get tired sometimes. But that's it.
To talk about Shaq, I automatically get tired.
Whole voice makes you sound tired anyway.
But good try. I'm gonna give you the little dance that we used to do. Y'all tried it this time. Kind of got close.
Go Facebook, Mom. Go Facebook, Mom. All right, we are here to the last part of our show, and I know you guys are probably wondering, what is the game of the week? It's the Pro Bowl, but the Pro Bowl is happening very differently than we have ever seen it before. This year's Pro Bowl, because of COVID, it was announced in October that they were canceling the game, and then in November it was announced that they have decided to do a virtual Pro Bowl. What does that mean? Well, let's go back to Madden. They are going to set up some NFL players along with some celebrities, and they are going to do a virtual Madden tournament with the players that were voted into the Pro Bowl. So these are the players that are going to be playing only as the players that were selected from the Pro Bowl. And there's going to be like some celebrities and some NFL players that are going to be playing the game virtually together. It is going to be aired on television, and it should be very interesting. I would figure. I don't know. The last time we saw something that I believe it was the NBA that did some kind of their little NBA TV virtual thing. It didn't go over as well as I thought it was going to. But again, the Pro Bowl game actually does not get that many views anyway. So maybe the NFL will figure out something and learn from the mistakes that the NBA made when they did their little virtual NBA gaming tournament thingy, and it'll be better. Jackie, thoughts?
I actually, as much as I'm like, I actually really like this idea, because I'll watch the, skills challenge and stuff like that, but I can't even tell you the last time I actually watched an actual Pro Bowl game. And one of the reasons I've never been a fan of, especially if you're on one of the teams going to the Super Bowl, damn well they're not going to play in the Pro Bowl anyway. So it's not really a thing that I've really paid that much attention to.
This year we can see them virtually.
Exactly.
I didn't even think about that.
We can see that. So that's why I really like this, because now you can get the teams that are Super Bowl bound. They can be on the call at least and playing as themselves. So I think that will bring some draw. So I'm actually not mad at this. I think that this could be something that I'm guessing that this is going to get more views than the actual Pro Bowl. So I don't know if I'm right about that, but that is what I am guessing right now. So I actually really like this idea, and I think that this is something that could be implemented going forward.
That's what I was going to ask you. If this is successful this year, could this be the future of the Pro Bowl? The players maybe, because usually the winning team gets like a little bit more than the losing team does in the game, but they all get money for making it to the Pro Bowl. I wonder if they just split everybody's check. Everybody just, if you make the Pro Bowl, you get a check for it, and then you can choose to participate in this thing that's like some Madden gaming thing, and then the players don't have to worry about getting hurt, because that's a lot of reasons why players, like top players that make the Pro Bowl, don't want to play in it sometimes, because they don't want to like chance getting hurt. It's kind of like just like a fun flag game anyway, flag football game anyway, pretty much, because nobody wants to get hurt. But maybe this is what they do, because they've had unsuccessfully tried to change up what they're doing at the Pro Bowl for years now. Number one, taking it out of Hawaii, which totally sucked, because that's why the players wanted to go to the Pro Bowl, because they wanted to go to Hawaii. And then we're seeing it in Arizona, but they were trying to get fans there more and whatever. So this could be the future of the Pro Bowl. I wouldn't be mad at it. Still just a few skills challenges though.
I do they'll still have to do the skills challenges, and I think people will do the skills challenge because there's no real risk involved with those. So I think that'll still happen. But I think this is just going to be interesting for a lot of people, because we're going to get to hear a lot more trash talk. People will be on their headphones talking more trash. People love that. And now you don't have to worry about not seeing, if you're a Chiefs fan, you're like, I'm not going to watch the Pro Bowl because my guy's not going. Now you can get that audience as well. So I think that this might be something that makes a lot more sense than what the Pro Bowl we've seen in the past. So
NFL, you might be on to something finally. Well, that is going to do it for our show. We are going to be watching tomorrow. I want to check this out and see what's going on. Make sure you guys check it out. Let us know what you guys think of this virtual Madden Pro Bowl. And we will see you guys next week. And for our Super Bowl episode, get excited or don't, whatever. Just make sure you're watching. Bye, guys.